man, we have an exclusive interview with a good brother. I had a chance to meet him recently, heard about him, all accolades and everything, man. I got a chance to meet him, and a real cool, down-to-earth brother, man. I mean, it's so many accolades that, you know, we'll be here for a minute, like for real, for real. I'm just going to go through a few, but, I mean, I wish I could go through everything because this guy deserves his flowers, you know, because he put hard work and time in to be where he is, man. I mean, this is, I mean, he's an author, international speaker, college professor, radio, TV correspondent. I mean, author of 12 best-selling books.
13 now.
13 now?
Wow,
Okay, 13 now, man.
Okay.
I mean, he's been on ABC, BT, CBS, Fox, Steve Harvey Show. I mean, he's the CEO of a mentoring organization from Boys to Books, which empower young men via literacy, leadership, and life skills enrichment. The President Barack Obama Volunteer Service Award from the White House, man.
Wow.
It's so many things that I can talk about, man. It's crazy, man. It's like, I mean, you got the recipient of the President Lifetime Achievement Award at the White House, January 2017. Keynote speaker at Bishop T.D. Jakes Mega Fest. I mean, and a minister.
Yes, sir.
Right, minister.
Yes, sir.
Don't forget that, man. I mean, it's just so much, man. I just want to, that's minute. That's so minute. If I show you the pages that we have here at this press kit, man, it's ridiculous, man. But coming to, I mean, here for the first time at the dinner table, I would like to welcome Dr. Eddie Connors, man.
Yes.
Man, thank you, man.
Man.
Thank
Pleasure. Q, she, Boog.
you. Man.
Yeah.
And
I'm
you know
enjoying.
Boog, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even make it better.
We go
my
back.
guy.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody know Bud.
Hey,
That's everybody got.
Yeah, that's everybody got.
I'm blessed to know some good people. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
Yeah.
There it is,
For
man.
sure.
So welcome to the dinner table, man.
Yeah.
Welcome to the dinner table. Like I said, I got a chance to meet you about a month ago. And you know when you meet genuine people, when the spirit is genuine. You know what I'm saying? I have a radar where I can tune out like fake or just imposter or just not original. You know what I'm saying? I just got those senses, man. But I also have the senses to recognize real and humbleness and just a good person. And that's what I got from you.
Real recognize real. You
You know
look
what I'm saying?
familiar.
Absolutely. Man, come on now. Come on now.
You know what I'm saying?
Now,
Co-host the Choice
Oh,
Awards.
man,
Come on.
now.
Shout out to my guy
yes.
Dave Bishop.
Man,
you know what I'm
Dave
saying?
Bishop,
yeah,
man.
bro.
Come on.
It's gonna be happening in
Yeah.
September, man. It's gonna
Congratulations
be
to
dope.
both of y'all because you both are hosting that night, and I can't wait to see y'all in
it's
action.
going down,
sure,
man.
yeah.
Then we got to come back because we got to have all the hosts here.
Absolutely.
Man, so we got to
Absolutely. Shout
double
out to
back,
Ariel.
man.
Shout out to
And how
Ariel.
many hosts is it?
Yeah.
Four.
Dope.
Yeah, man. It's and then like I say, the first time, man, it was just a good connection, and then just the camaraderie and just being in the same space, man. It just felt good. It felt good because I've heard of Dr. Eddie Connors, and my first time, like I said, meeting him. So it was just an honor, man, just to be in the space. You understand what I'm saying?
Like for sure,
man, because everybody got their own thing, but to be in the space and be humble and still do what you do, man, that's a good thing.
Now, I want to know, how did you get started with your public speaking? How did that platform begin?
Yeah, I never wanted to be a speaker at all. I never wanted to be a writer. Everything I'm doing now, I never intended to do. Life is funny, and I went through a real devastating time in my life, being diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. 2022 marks 22 years of me being cancer free, and it was a very, very painful, traumatic time. Being a teenager. My father not there, parents divorced, never visited me one day in the hospital, and dealing with doubt and depression and emotional incarceration, really. The emotional turmoil, me feeling like I wasn't going to make it, that I literally wanted to give up.
Wow.
If it wasn't for a mother's love, I wouldn't be speaking to you now. And so to go through, but come out on the other side and not look like what I've been through, opportunities just availed themselves to say, hey, you need to share your testimony.
Yeah.
And I grew up in Jamaica for part of my life. Yeah, man, no problem. Real team.
Respect.
Iron man.
Okay.
And so I began sharing at a church there, and then a lot of people got wind of my story here back in the States in the D, and started sharing with the American Cancer Society. And just the doors just began to open, and so I just really wanted to give people a lot of freedom to overcome obstacles and recognize that whatever stumbling block you experience, and you can turn that into a stepping stone.
That's right. Wow.
Yeah.
What a testimony.
You were born here.
Yeah, I was born here. Yeah.
And then
yeah.
at what age did you go to? Was it Kingston?
Yeah, Kingston.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Kingston.
Yeah. Kingston. I was there from about age 4 to 7. My parents, prior to their divorce, were missionaries to the island.
Okay.
And my father's from the islands. So, it was a homecoming for him, and I picked up the culture real quickly.
Okay.
You get the accent, and then you come back here and you get teased for it. Like, man, where you from, bro? What boat you get on?
Right.
Yeah, so, yeah.
That's good, man. You do you visit back and forth?
Yeah. The last time I was there was prior to the pandemic, 2019.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, I mean, probably one of the best trips I ever had in my life. I mean, just the love that they showed. And, the people I hadn't seen since I was a kid.
Wow.
That I still remember. And, some I don't remember. They reminded me of, hey, I used to play soccer, football over there and stuff like that. It's just a great time, man. The ackee, the saltfish, the mangoes, all the good food.
I was going to say the good food. But Jamaica has some great food.
Yeah.
What's so crazy is in 2007, I went to Jamaica and I met a cousin. Didn't know that I was at Ochos Rios, and she was registering us for the Dones River ride. Walk.
Yeah.
And she had my wife at the time was like, she got the same name as us. I said, Sharp. I said, with the E? She said, yeah, man, with the E, man.
Wow.
And I'm like, how did, I talked to her, and I called my aunt right then and there, because my aunt has the whole history. And it matched up. I had my grandfather's great-great-grandfather, they were split up. One went to Jamaica, one went to Cuba.
Word.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's
and so, it was so crazy is I keep in touch right now with her daughter, and look just like my oldest daughter. I'm talking about the bone structure, everything.
Wow.
They look exactly alike, man.
No wonder we connected. We island brothers,
we
man.
island. There it is, man. We island.
Caribbean connection.
Respect. And it runs deep with my father's side, too, because Diane Reeves is my first cousin. And it's Jamaican side. Yeah,
Word. I need that.
Now, you have an extensive resume. I'm just looking at everybody that you, like, speaking engagement, television, Steve Harvey on the news. Let me ask you, when you go to do these things, what is the feeling, the vibe? Are you like, wow, this is really going on and this is really happening? Because this is very impressive, especially at a young age.
Yeah. It was a out of body experience type of moment, especially you do Steve Harvey, the Bishop T.D. Jakes, and some of the other, networks. And sometimes you freeze up mentally and you say, boy, you get a little, imposter syndrome, if you will, and you start feeling the fear sometimes, and you have to remind yourself. Like I remember I was peeking through the curtain when I was on the stage at Bishop T.D. Jakes Mega Fest, and I looked out and I said, I only expected about maybe 100, 200 folks. It was about 2,000.
Oh, wow. My God.
And at that time, that was like the biggest crowd that I had ever spoken at. And for a minute, I peered through the curtain. I said, I don't know if I can do this. And I had to remind myself, you said, hey, Eddie, God didn't bring you this far. I'd only bring you this far.
That's right.
You're built for this moment. Everything you went through was to tell somebody what you came out of.
That's right.
Everything that you went through that was painful became purposeful. Get out there, rock the stage, and that's what I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man. And you know what you do have, like when you speak, anytime I do something, even on the show here, I'm nervous. I'm always, I just imagine you look out and there's 2,000 people that you're about to speak in front of. Right. And to overcome that and be like, you know what, I have a purpose for this. And now I believe everything happened in God's divine order. Everything happens for a reason. Yeah. And everything, what you went through is a testimony to other people. So your story is supposed to be told. It needs to be told.
Absolutely.
Easy breeze.
Right.
Easy breeze.
Absolutely. So I got to put, I've been on the Q and She show now.
Yeah.
The dinner table. I came to the dinner table.
I got to put that on our thing. Like we had Dr. Eddie Hunter on our show.
That's right. Now, your parents being ministers.
Right.
Was that divine order that you become a minister? Because I know you were around it, you know, and you were involved in it, and it was there. You know what I mean? So was that divine that you become a minister? Was it pressure? You know, because sometimes, you know, it could be pressure on to you have to do this, you got to, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or it's something that you wanted to do.
Right. You know, I felt like it was pressure as a kid. You know that you get that scripture, you know, you read that scripture, train up a child in the way that they should go when you're older. You won't depart from it. And, you know, I didn't really want to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? You know,
You're trying to run from
right,
it.
right. You know, you go to church, you know, if we could go to church 7 days a week, my mama would have me there. We there at least 6. You know what I'm saying? Then you coming home, you know, it's Bible study, you know, what the Lord say to you this morning, you know, she asking, mama asking me, you know, and then, you know, so I grew up in a very strict household. You know, my mom's a general, you know what I mean? And so my father wasn't as strict when he was there.
Okay.
But, you know, mama's always going to be on you with the discipline and so on and so forth. So, you know, I wasn't really all the time a part of it. But when I had that cancer crisis, I mean, I couldn't just rely on what my mama told me.
Right.
You know, all of that I had to learn and experience on my own and develop my own relationship with God and my own spiritual connection. And so, you know, I mean, I was thrown in the fire, you know, at 15. And, you know, from running from it to now running to it.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Life is funny. And so that became, you know, I'm grateful for that discipline. I'm grateful for that God-fearing parents.
Yeah.
That, you know, that became the foundation for how I live my life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that plays a major part. And, you know, what you put in a child, even if they stray away from it, they always come back to what was planted in them.
Right.
I mean, and to be victorious of stage 4 cancer at a young age in high school, you know, that is mentally, you know, you go through you go through depression, you go through, you know what I mean? Because I've seen that happen at older age. You know what I mean? Do you think by being so young that your body was able to recover?
That's a good question. And I thought about that. But then I thought about my friend who I grew up with, God rest his soul, my good friend Henry Coles, who died of what I beat.
Wow.
And he was younger than me. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I went through a place in my life of survivor's guilt. You know, when I would see his parents or just, you know, his brothers and sisters, like, man, you know, I'm no better than he is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, and still, I mean, just yesterday, I found out one of my friends died of cancer.
Wow.
A great brother who developed My Brother's Keeper out of Houston, Texas. And, you know, I remember praying for him not too many months ago. And, you know, to lose his life of cancer and just to know that, hey, you know, you beat something that people die from, it keeps you in a place of feeling humble and just counting your blessings. And, you know, that's why, you know, I just try to pay it forward and help other people. But it's nothing but the grace of God, because people who were my age died from, you know, what I beat, you know, what I overcame. And so, you know, it just is, you know, you lose words sometimes when you think about it.
And, you know, I always feel like this. Everybody go through things, but God has a purpose for your life. You know, even though somebody else didn't make it, as long as you have breath in your body, there's a purpose and a reason for you to be here. So I always look at that. You know, you the one that God had to deliver this message, to go out there and speak to people and encourage people and tell your testimony.
Yeah. And, you know, I was at a place in my life, because I was having chest pains when I was battling prior to getting my diagnosis, and I didn't want to tell anybody about it, because, you know, as boys becoming men, we see it as pain, as weakness leaving the body. I didn't want to go to the doctor. You know, all I heard was grin and bear it. Stop, you know, don't cry like no girl. Be a man. And I'm a boy. You know what I'm saying? And those are the same types of deleterious, you know, stories we tell our brothers growing up. You know, be a man. Don't worry about it. Don't talk about it. And all of that becomes a level of emotional incarceration. And we hold that trauma in. We don't verbalize. We internalize. You know, and so oftentimes, you know, masculinity and vulnerability can't coexist in the same space. A lot of times that vulnerability is seen as femininity. And I had to find out how to free myself emotionally.
Wow.
Because you know, men are, you know, we don't go to the doctor until it's.
Yeah, that's where I was at.
We try to tough it out. Like, well, it's cool. My whole side hurting. I'm cool. It was just gas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As long as it ain't on the left side, I'm cool. But you know, no, you really have to take notice of your body, because your body will tell you what's happening, man.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you are cousins to to one of the most inspirational and one of the best musicians in our time. Prince Roger Nelson.
Yeah. Today is the day he actually died.
Yep, it sure is.
I was ready to get to that. Man, you know what I'm saying? So, really just from that, people taking notes of you, and they seeing your testimony, and like Prince he was a musician, and we lived through his music. It's kind of like it runs through you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah. Everybody, you know, Prince is actually is my mom's first cousin. My grandmother and Prince's father, brother and sister.
Wow.
And so everybody in the family on my mom's side, they all played. All the Nelsons, they all played.
Okay.
Some form of music, some form of instrument, or we sing. And so I was in. My mom had me and my brother on the side of the piano while she's playing the piano, and he loved to sing, but I begrudgingly, you know, was singing, you know, and I'd sometimes hit the note wrong. No video games for you. Right. So you know, to the world he's a celebrity. To us, he's just family. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you know, his death date was 3 weeks to the 3 weeks past my birthday.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And it was just a tough time for us when that happened. You know, I got so many stories, and you know, talking to a lot of family members and just about his life, and just you know, even speaking at the funeral, the home going that we had, where his urn was out there, and it was just a very tough time.
Feel it too.
It was a tough time. But I feel like, you know, his music lives through my mom, my brother, my family, you know, to a certain degree, even me. I don't sing, but, you know, a lot of my writing has a poetic flow to it.
Wow.
You know, yeah.
And that was, you know, I remember when that happened, and, you know, you see things and it be surreal, like, you know, not, that didn't happen or that's not happening. Prince was one of the best musicians of all time.
Now.
Like,
yeah,
his
absolutely.
music
Played
lives
every
on
instrument.
forever.
Every instrument.
Yeah.
Played every instrument. And you know what? He had a demo tape. They didn't want to sign him originally because they thought he was a band. That's how gifted he was.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, they're like, no, we're not signing bands right now. We just want a solo artist. He's like, I am a solo artist. They didn't believe him.
Because he did that so much.
Yeah, he did. He played it all.
Very musically talented and musically inclined.
Yeah.
I just saw on Instagram somebody posted Prince had to be about 12.
Yeah.
And he was speaking on
Teachers.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And I'm looking like, that's Prince, you know. And he was speaking like really coming from himself. I mean, there wasn't nobody that was telling him nothing. He spoke from his heart.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he left him 12 years old. I'm like, wow, man, that's one of my favorite artists. I got a chance to see him with 1999 tour.
Oh, really?
What? At the Joe Louis Arena?
Oh, yeah. I
Come
remember.
on now.
Yeah.
My grandmother made me a purple tie that said Prince on it with glitter. I wore it choked up the whole concert.
Man, that's
Q was sharp.
Come on, man. They dropped us off, me and my homeboy Juan Black, man. We going to the concert. We kids. And he just, man. I got a friend of mine real quick that just recently seen Purple Rain. I was like, who are you?
Give me your black card back.
Come on now. You don't even get the same effect of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that we
that's
had
one of
when
my
we was
favorite
Prince
movies.
out. Come on now.
Right.
I used to put the mold on my.
Oh man, he was down with it.
hey man, everybody I know that love Prince,
What?
all out, everything.
Yeah.
Come on now. Only thing I didn't have is the feathered hair on them, but I had the jacket. I had the purple rain jacket. I had the with the long boy.
You got the purple background going on.
Man, so
Oh,
you know
purple,
what?
man.
Come on, man.
I wish I had got a chance to see him perform live. I ain't get a chance to see him perform live or MJ.
I didn't get a chance to see Michael Jackson.
I saw Michael Jackson a few times.
Wow.
So there was one opportunity when I was real little, but my parents were real strict about, you know what I'm saying, the secular music.
Oh,
back
yeah.
then. So it was just like, when I think one of my cousins or my auntie or something, one of them was trying to take like a whole slew of us to the Michael Jackson concert because he was here, and my uncle used to be one of his bodyguards, so he like hooked,
Wow.
you know what I'm saying, he had the hookup on the tickets.
Man.
My mama was like,
Wow.
How old were you?
you ain't going to the concert to praise the Lord.
I know that's right. Man, we got stories for days on that, man. I remember when I first heard Thriller, and I was coming out of church listening to Billie Jean. I hit a spin move, man, headed to the parking lot. My mama looking at me, what got into you? That ain't no church shout.
I got into trouble for singing Darling Nikki.
Oh man.
Man, you definitely could get in trouble for
Yeah,
singing
I got in
some
trouble.
Yeah.
You sing the wrong one. It's over with.
Listen, man, I tell 12 more. I was in a competition, a Michael Jackson competition. Me and my mother, she made me a glove. I had the beaded jacket, and I was doing my thing.
You was dressing up when you was younger, wasn't you?
Right, he was right.
When Prince was on, I had the coat on. When Michael Jackson was on,
I had the
beaded
glove
coat.
and the beaded coat.
My partner, Robert, look, I hope he's watching this. Robert Smith from Southwest Detroit. I swear to God, we got busted beer. He came around the corner with that beaded jacket on. I almost lost my mind. I'm like,
Man,
oh,
wow.
are you serious? Got it from Shoppers World. I begged my mama to get me. She got me.
Shoppers World.
Shoppers World. She got me. When he came around that corner, it was slow motion. I'm like, this dude got a beaded jacket on.
Sheesh.
And it's
Lost my mind.
amazing how like
Man.
Prince, Michael Jackson, how they're embedded in our memory. You know,
Right,
like
right.
they were greatest of all times to me. Like it didn't get no better. Prince, and you know, I used to be like everybody, Prince, which one's better, Prince or Michael Jackson? But to me, they were both amazing in their own right. I never compared the two because they did.
Yeah,
they
they
were
was
two
just,
different.
they was just different.
Yeah, they were just different, but they were great at what they did. Both of them.
Man. So we speak on being an author. I mean, you got 13 books.
Yeah, man.
And the most recent book, if I'm not mistaken, is Dear Queen Volume 2.
That's right. That's
Man,
right. Right
come
here.
on now.
Bada
So
boom,
what-
bada bing.
I want to talk about a few of these books.
Go ahead.
Now that one there, what is that book about?
You know, Dear Queen, it first started back in 2017 when I wrote the first installment, and I never felt like I was going to do a follow-up, but I used to write love letters to girls in school, and you know, I was a shy guy, and I said, let me just drop it in the locker anonymously. Word kind of got around that it was me, and some of the fellas like, yo, I need you to write one for my shorty over here. You got to keep your name off it though.
Right.
And so
Almost like mixtape.
I'll pay. Huh?
Almost like mixtape.
Right. I'll pay you in pizza on Friday.
You was a ghostwriter. probably.
Basically, right. I was ghostwriting. And so, you know, years later, I said, it just dawned on me. I just had a flash and thought. I said, hey, if I can write love letters to girls, why can't I write a book of love to women? To love themselves and know their worth, to just really embrace the beauty and the validity and value of what women, especially our black sisters, bring to society. You know, Malcolm X said the most neglected, unprotected, and disrespected woman on the planet is the black woman. You know, no nation can rise without its women. And so I wanted to write that, especially even sending a sincere salute to my mama, who was the preeminent queen, of my life, and, you know, brought me through such a tough time in my life. And that was all about Jewels of Wisdom, Love Yourself and Know Your Worth, and it became a massive hit. It was like my Thriller.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And so it just, last year I said, wow, you know, Dear Queen is still selling. I mean, it's like 4 or 5 years later. Let me just write the second installment. And I felt like I had more to say. I felt like it wasn't a finalization. It was a continuation of a conversation. And so I just wanted to really deal with the crown. And so the subtitle is How to Wear Your Crown, Walk in Authority and Authenticity. And in the midst of all of the, you know, negative vitriolic language directed towards women these days, you know, what do you bring to the table, and, you know, all this other stuff. And, you know, you can say names. We ain't gonna even do that. But all the stuff on social media, I wanted it to really kind of just deal with the hyper masculinity that's totally, insensitive.
Yeah.
And really just embrace the value of our sisters and just champion them.
Man, I was going through the book, and you have one here that stood out to me. It said, I was looking at free yourself as well, but live in love. It says you've learned that you have to forgive people who never given you an apology.
Yeah.
Forgiveness is not only for the one who hurt you, but it's for you. So you can stop hurting over what was done to you.
Yeah.
Dude, for the last 3 of my years, that resonates to me so much because I'm still holding myself captive of this very paragraph here.
Wow.
Because I haven't 100% free. Let it go, that stuff that I was dealing with. And when I read that, I'm like, damn, you really have to let it go because I'm actually harboring myself. I'm actually like institutionalized or locking myself up because I'm not free.
Absolutely.
Until I do that. So that was one of the paragraphs, man, that really jumped out at me.
Yeah. I had to, take my own medicine with that, because I was really bitter towards my father. And, he
I can relate to that.
Didn't show up for me, in my toughest time. And I was bitter towards a lot of other people who I felt dropped the ball, for me when they should have been there. And I had to forgive somebody who never gave me an apology. I forgave my father years before he asked me to forgive him. And it was a place to where I was kind of like, I was psychologically in pain and I was in a prison without bars. Wow. And I realized, you can't live until you forgive. And I recognized that I was bleeding on people who didn't even cut me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're dumping that trauma onto others because of the toxicity and the triggers that you have not, unveiled and really opened up yourself to and really, really taken that out and dealt with it. Yeah, it became a freeing moment for me.
Wow.
And that is powerful. And how do people, because people say, well, I forgive, but they really haven't. It's on the surface. How do you deeply, truly forgive someone and not only say it, but show it? To where you're forgiving, like you said with your father. How do you, especially somebody that's so close, somebody gave you life, and how do you learn to forgive them for every, things that you've been through with them, and authentically forgive and genuinely forgive?
Right. Yeah. The hurt they put on you is on them, but healing is your responsibility. And I had to let them off the hook for myself. I had to take the time to isolate, to deal with the pain of it, to acknowledge it.
Yes.
This hurt. I don't like this. Now what can I do about it? You have to, they say men shouldn't cry, but you got to. You got to let it out. You got to deal with the frustration, the pain.
Yes.
And journal your thoughts down.
Yes, I did.
Take some time to just really refresh yourself and to think, to pray, to process. And really, you recognize really the healing, the forgiveness is not for them. The forgiveness is for you.
That's right.
It's like me picking up a hot coal and expecting you to get hit by it. I'm the one who got burned before it left my hand.
Right.
I'm drinking poison and, expecting you to feel the effects of it.
Yeah.
Forgiveness is not just for them. Forgiveness is for yourself.
That's true.
And forgiveness frees me from hurting you too.
Yeah.
Man.
And I think journaling is so important. I have several journals and I write in, and then I go back and reflect what have I changed over the years or what do I need to work on. So I think everybody, men and women, like one of my English teachers would have us write in our journals every morning. So I think that's important because you can reflect and look on how you feel about certain things and then how you've overcame those situations.
Yeah.
I never, up until a couple years ago, I never really felt, or maybe I didn't know it, anxiety and mental and a lot of men, we go through mental things, man, that we just don't really know, don't really recognize, or if we do, we don't want to talk to somebody about it. So, just like in here you have free yourself. It said free yourself from anxiety, bitterness, and negativity. The power of forgiveness comes from strife and mess. You love yourself by freeing yourself.
Yeah, right.
And I went through therapy, and that was one of the best things in my life, man, because I was able to finally talk to someone that wasn't judging me or didn't just be on my side because they were my friend.
Yeah.
You know, and I got a chance to listen to other stories that were more that were worse than mine, and it got me to open up to really understand that talking to someone is okay.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Instead of just harboring all that in your body, man, and then, you know, you dealing with work, you dealing with this, you dealing with bills, you dealing with just life in general, and you got this thing that's just really bothering you. Speak on it. Therapy is good.
Absolutely. You're totally right about it, brother, because, I mean, we don't have too many safe spaces and places where we can be vulnerable.
Yeah.
You know, as a man, you always have to be strong. You know, you got to be strong in front of your woman. You got to be strong in front of your brothers. You know, to a certain degree, the barber shop becomes kind of like our counselor, our therapist, but there's only so much that you can talk about there. You know, and so, you know, hey, I salute you. I champion you, especially on saying, hey, you went to therapy, because a lot of times we see counseling as and therapy as taboo, but really it's for me and you. You know what I'm saying? And really being able to talk, because one of the worst things is to be so locked up that you don't know how to get out.
That's right.
You know, and now all of that abscess spills over into all of our relationships. And you know, you talk about mental health. You can't spell mental health without men heal. You know what I mean?
That,
the prefix of both of those words is men heal. And that's one thing that we have to do. We have to take the time to heal. Healing, loving yourself, knowing your worth is not just for our women, it's for us as men too.
And that's, you know, we were just speaking about that, because I know some men that they don't want to do therapy, or they think they're okay. And it's okay not to be okay.
Come on, say it now. Come on.
And a lot of men, like I said, men, because you're taught, like you said, suck it up and don't cry. And I see so many men damaged. They go from relationship to relationship, and they're damaged. They haven't been healed. They don't even know how to heal.
Exactly.
They don't even. Some of them don't even recognize that there's an issue. But you can repeat the same cycle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Absolutely. Got to break the cycle.
Yeah.
You got to break that cycle, man.
And now, how do you? Speaking of that, how do you begin to break it? If somebody just don't know what to do, how to do it, what would you suggest, or what would you give them to know to begin to even break cycles?
Yeah. You know, I think us as men need mentors. You know, a lot of times we think mentorship is just from men to boys, you know, from the top down approach. I think it's really a cross current. And, you know, as we get older, you know, sometimes we're dealing with the kid trapped in the king, and we need to talk to somebody. I think as men, we have to be really conscientious, and we have to be proactive about reaching out. Especially to, you know, those who we see in our community, whether they've made mistakes or not, and they've rehabilitated. And really picking their brain and really saying, hey, you know what? I need to just talk. You know what I'm saying? Let's break bread. Because one thing we hate to do as men, we hate to call for help. We hate to seek support because we think there's something wrong with us, when really there's something right with us. And so I think we got to have accountability partners. We have to have mentors. We have to take the time to process our thoughts. You know, I love seeing more brothers these days, whether it's rappers or whether it's just your average Joe, journaling, writing down their thoughts. You know, taking time to actually express themselves, not from a place of vitriolic anger. And, you know, we know how to use our fist. I mean, we see it with Will Smith. We see it with Mike Tyson. We don't deal too much in emotional intelligence. You know, we always know how to deal with anger, but anger is just one letter away from danger. And a lot of times we're carrying so much weight, and we're dealing with all these masks that we wear. You know, you can't spell masculinity without mask. That's right. The masculinity is a mask. Until we take the time to take it off, peer behind the issues of what it is that we've experienced, looked at the ugliness of ourselves, what we've gone through, and then see what's the right way and the right route to come out. We'll be better.
Man, I want to go to a couple of people that's here, and they got comments. Shout out to now. I want to make sure I pronounce it right. We got Ariel or Ariel. That's okay. Ariel.
Yep. Hey, one of our co-hosts. That's right. Co-hosts with the most.
Man, she say, "Speak, Dr. Eddie." She say, "Dear Queen, it's fire." We got Dice Clark on here. You know Dice, that's our brother.
Yes.
My aunt Amelia, she says a lot of pain comes from ancestry. And if one never researched past drama of family, it continues through generations. Starting with who you are is getting to know his or her story.
Yeah, you know, we deal with a lot of intergenerational trauma.
Yes.
You know, Dr. Joy DeGroy talks about in her book Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome about the trauma that we carry in our DNA, passed on from generation to generation. I mean, you can go all the way back to slavery and all of that, you know, passed down through the Jim Crow, the segregation, discrimination. And sometimes we now turn on ourselves and we abuse each other because there's no other outlet. We don't know how to deal with it. And so we really have to process our pain.
Yeah.
And we have to have these tough conversations, you know, because we always say what goes on in this house stays in this house. It never does.
Taught to be mute.
It never does. It seeps out of there
Yeah.
into other houses. You know what I'm saying? So,
And I think a lot of people don't know or even understand that it's a generational curse.
Yes,
you know, like things go on in families, and it's just it just keeps going. It snowballs to the younger generations of the family, and it just nobody takes the time out to step away and say, "Let's fix this. Let's work on this." You know, it just it continues to go on.
Break that cycle.
Yeah.
Break
absolutely.
that cycle, man, because you don't want it to continue. You know, and it's this social media, man. It's so. Man, you look at you know, the even the suicide rate, man. You look at things, man, because you have this. You know what's so crazy? I was speaking to a friend of mine yesterday, and he said that the Chinese, I don't know if they were if they invented TikTok or whatever, but he was saying that they don't allow their kids to watch TikTok.
wow.
They created it and sent it out, and it said it was to hinder kids and to have their mind not even elevate, because these kids are into TikTok all day, every day. And so what is crazy, I don't know how true that is. Like I said, I was speaking to one of my friends. He was just mentioning that yesterday, and I was like, wow, they created it for someone else, and they don't even watch it, but they created it. And then we take it, and our kids, man, that's all they do is look at TikTok
That's it.
all day long.
But see, I blame parents for that because
only so far though.
Yeah, but
Not 100%.
I'm not going to allow my child to have a device and be on it nonstop. That just
You're only around your child so many hours of the day.
But when you give them iPads and you give them phones, especially at a young age, what do you expect? Actually, people give it to them to pacify their children, to keep them busy.
True too.
Yeah.
Because that's the babysitter.
Yeah.
That's true.
Hey, go ahead and
Yeah, yeah.
You
and young
babysit
kids,
like-
I'm talking about 5 and 6 year olds
No, that's too
with
young.
tablets. I'm talking about with tablets and everything. They have access to so much.
Yeah, and it's a lot of stuff, and then everything is like we had patience. You know what I'm saying? Like now everything is fast. Everything is on. You have to have it now. You don't have patience. You get frustrated. I'm talking about the kids because you can't figure it out
Yeah,
right
those
now.
two.
We had to go to the library. We had to take the bus and go to the library and do our research. Now it's just boom, boom, boom. And now I tell you what, cut the Wi-Fi off. They'll lose their mind. Oh, they'll lose.
It's true.
They don't know
That's
what's
true.
going on.
Wi-Fi is a new playground.
What?
Yeah. It really is.
Man.
So
Wi-Fi is Toys R Us.
I want to get into this book, Wife.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that one.
Yeah, you know. Why y'all laughing at me?
He like,
And so, I mean,
Yeah,
it just says
yeah.
wife. And I
Right,
was like,
right.
you know, that's right there is definitely eye-catching. So what's wife
Yeah.
about?
Yeah, wife is, I define wife as wisely inspired, faithfully empowered. And the caption is becoming the right one for the right one, the subtitle. And I really wanted to write it. It's really a book to men more than it is to women.
Okay.
And because the thing is, I think we have a generation, yes, that is more enamored with the wedding than the marriage. The wedding is a sprint, the marriage is a marathon. And I believe carrots without character is chaotic.
Say that again.
Carrots without character is chaotic. You know,
Wow.
with all of that, without the character, a ring doesn't mean anything.
That's right.
Right.
And so, you know, I really wanted to talk to our brothers because we always talk about Proverbs 31, who can find a
That
virtuous
right.
woman, you know, he that findeth a wife find a good thing.
Yes.
You know, but we fail to talk about Proverbs chapter 20, verse 6, which says, who can find a faithful man? I'm more English than math, but 20 comes before 31. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we're holding our sisters to a standard that us as men have not matured to. And as a result, we're preparing women for unprepared men. Where are the workshops? Where are the seminars? Where are the conferences on how to be a better husband?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
That's a
saying?
great point.
Man, look, on that, I'm a tell me where to go.
Tell me where to go.
You know what?
Hey, we need to create that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I really do. Because they have so many things for
definitely
women.
help lead the charge on that.
Yeah.
My marriage is amazing.
See, that's we got to have conversations
real.
like, yo,
Like,
what are you doing that I may not be doing over here?
Everybody that I talk to, I'm like, yo, like, people make it. Culture has made it like marriage is such this heavy thing. Like, oh, you got to work so hard. Like, no, you don't. Like, do you work hard at the stuff that you passionate about? Do you think about it like, oh my God, I got to get up and I got to do this, I got to write this book today. No, you don't think about it like that because you love what you're doing, right?
That's right.
So if you love the person that you with, it shouldn't feel like I hate the whole term of labor of love. Like, it's really not labor.
Wow.
It shouldn't be laboring. I feel like you sabotaging your relationship when you use certain words. You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful with what you speak over.
That love language,
Yeah, you got to be careful what you speak over your relationship.
And I
That's
think
good.
I'm not for sure, but I think a lot of women and men too, we just don't know selfishness. You know, a lot of people are so selfish.
Yes.
And to me, that ruins a lot of relationships because we not taking it's us now. It's not selfish. And I remember this minister telling me when I was married, in order for there to be a marriage, there has to be a funeral. And you have to die to yourself.
Oh, come on. Kim said it. Kim said it. He said, the man I used to be is gone. He gave up his life so I can move on.
Yeah.
Come on, man. That's so cold right there.
Yeah. And when that minister said that to me, it clicked because it does. You do have to, in order for a marriage to thrive, to be prosperous, some things you have to die to yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dang, you know what, that is, man, come on. You and I know.
Yeah.
Come on, man. That's so true.
Yeah, a lot of marriages go down the drain because they still thinking as a single person.
Yeah.
Man, come on.
And moving as a single person, doing things and not taking in
They don't talk
consideration
to
of
their
the
spouse
person.
about stuff. Like, still acting like they don't have nobody.
Listen, man. You better stop talking about me.
It's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
And all
Leave me alone.
you end up doing is alienating the other person and feeling like
Absolutely, man.
you're not trustworthy and that you're trying to keep secrets or whatever. You may not even be trying to do it on purpose, but because you're still thinking about you yourself.
Come on, that's not a narcissist.
Yeah.
For sure.
Now, what is this 2020 vision?
Yeah, 2020 vision. You know, I wrote that and released it prior to the pandemic coming out.
Okay.
And really, it was all about 2020 vision, about how to see beyond what you see and transform your reality. And I really wanted to give people really insight on how to forsake the familiar. Little did I know we would have to do that. We'd be forced to do it.
Yeah.
And so it really gives a lot of individuals and readers really steps and tools and principles on really how to pivot even when I didn't realize there was a pandemic coming. And so it was kind of a prophetic book in so many ways to really see life from a different angle. You know, you have to change the way you look at things until the things you look at change.
That's right.
And I think really the most dangerous place you can be in life is not when you're walking on water, it's when you're staying in the boat. Yeah.
Got to balance.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's a lot of people going to try to pull you back in that boat.
That's right.
I got to walk on water.
Man, you know what? We gotta have a part 2, man.
Absolutely.
Because
there's
this
so
was,
much.
Yes, man. It was so interesting, man. And to our viewers, you know, that's just you know, get introduced to you. We got them on here, man. They comment and stuff like that, man. And then, like I said, we got the Detroit Choice Awards coming.
I'm excited for everybody involved in that.
Man.
Yeah.
Quick question. It don't have to be in order. Give me your 5 top pastors that motivates you, that really get, you know what I'm saying? Now, I don't want to put you in no, I don't want somebody see this and be like, man, they don't have to be in no order, but give me your top 5.
Boy, top 5 pastors that motivate me.
Yeah.
You know, I got to go Bishop T.D. Jakes.
Yes.
You know, without a doubt. You know, he's the GOAT.
Yes.
I have to go with, you know, there's a lot of local ministries here.
Yeah.
I got to shout out Pastor Homer Jameson.
Oh, Jamerson.
Jameson Temple. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Bishop Edgar Van, you know, Bishop Charles Ellis. You know, you got shoot, Pastor Solomon Kinlock. I'm probably gonna name more than 5. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably gonna name, I got a shout out. Boy, I mean, Reverend Dr. Edward R. Knox, who I was just on stage with.
Yeah, Dr. Knox. Okay.
Just the other day. I mean, you got to go all the way back. Let's go old school. Frederick Price. Fred Price. I mean, he was the one who really talked about the black struggle.
Yeah.
You know, he was bringing culture and race, you know, where a lot of people feel like you should separate that. And he was talking about, you know, the black experience in the Bible, which is, I think, pertinent. Yeah. You know what I mean? You know, you talk about Jesus. I mean, he was assassinated by a Roman government.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For a crime he never committed.
Man, listen, we have to have a part 2, and we definitely coming back with all the hosts. I tried Dave Bishop and said, come to the podcast. He said, man, you know, I just play the background, man, you know. So we got to have that, and not to mention when we were on there, man. I'm like I'm around everybody. I was a little nervous. He called me. He said, man, you got the green light to do Q Hefner. Do you? I said, what? Let's go. Let's go. So it's a done deal, man. So we gotta have you back, man.
Well, I'm a cop a seat too and watch this show, man.
Tell you something, I might come out on stage with skates on. You feel me?
Teach me how to, brother. I'm holding on to the rail the whole time. So.
Dr. Eddie Connor, man, we appreciate you.
Plus, I want to get into these other books because I unwrapped the gift in you. I'm like, I want to. I need some books, because all of these titles and books, I definitely want to get into and read.
And Mary, I Can't Breathe gonna knock your socks off too.
Oh, really?
It's gonna knock your Louboutin heels off. And then I got a new one coming out in June. I got a new one coming out for men. Hopefully I can come back to the show. We talk about it.
Come on now. You know what I'm saying? Listen, we conversate, man. One time, I don't even say a guest. I said we conversate, but 2 times you are a dinner table.
Yeah.
Listen. You're not a guest. You're a co-host. You understand what I'm saying? Man, listen. We appreciate you, man. Thank you I know you got a busy schedule, man. Thank you for taking out the time, an hour out your life, man, to come talk with us and chat with us, man.
Greatly appreciate it.
We greatly appreciate it, man. This is the dinner table. I know, Bud, we got to get up out of here because we got boom. We can't mention what we got going on because we ain't got no more time.
No.
I'd rather spend the time just talking to Dr. Connor. We'll do our thing. You feel me? Thank you, man. See you next Thursday. I'm going to be by myself.
Yes, I will be out of the state.
Tell me when to go. Tell me when to go.
I think you cheating on us?
No. But listen, when I go where I'm going, y'all coming with me. How about that?
What my man say, how do you know I'm at? If you've never been where I'm from, understand where I'm coming from. There it is, man. The dinner table.
Thank you. Peace.
Yep.